And this one is a deck building strategy game where players are going to be using their cards to play actions in order to move their units around out on the board, take control of key locations, and generate valuable resources in order to try and win the game. And I'll just start off with some cool components here because each player is going to have this giant board to hold all their different units, but it also doubles as a shroud for you to keep some of your cards hidden. The different factions that players play as are asymmetric, but you're all going to be starting with the same 7 starting cards, but then each round you're going to be able to add more cards either from your faction deck or from a shared supply. The different locations are set up semi-randomly at the start of the game through a bit of a drafting mechanism, and like I said, each of these locations can offer you different benefits, but if you're also on a location that does have a higher stack, meaning that you have higher ground than the adjacent locations, that does give you a benefit during battle. But players are essentially going to be taking turns to spend resources in order to play the cards that they currently have in their hand. Each player is going to start with those 7 cards, and then each turn you're going to be using a card to perform its associated actions. These can allow you to deploy or move different types of units out on the board, upgrade units into more powerful ones, or even build bases which can allow you to summon units in that new location, but each of them do also grant you with a special ability. There's also different cards that could just grant you with special bonuses, and some cards you can actually keep in play in order to get those bonuses round after round. Most of the cards do require you to spend resources in order to play them, but you can also discard cards in order to trade them in for resources. This game also has something known as command tokens, and you'll be starting with just a few of these at the start of the game, but you can gain more as the game goes on, and you can assign those to your different squads that you have deployed out on the different locations in order to do things like extract additional resources from that location, move that entire squad into an adjacent location, or even attack an adjacent location. When players fight in this game, each of the different types of units have their own values for defense, and in order to defeat them you do need to inflict damage greater than that. Each of the different types of units also grant you with a certain amount of strength, which is going to be represented with the amount of dice that you get to roll, and you'll be rolling these dice that can grant you with different benefits like dealing out damage, adding defense to your side, or even allow you to play one of your cards as a tactic card, which can grant you with all sorts of additional benefits. And also, as the attacker, you do have an advantage with an extra die, and if you are on the higher ground, that will allow you to get extra rerolls. At the end of the round, players get all of their command tokens back, but they also get the opportunity to purchase new cards. But something that I really like about the end of the round is that you're also going to be getting resources based on the position and the units that you have out, but that also determines how many more cards you get to draw into your hand from your draw deck. The rounds continue like this, with players fighting against each other, trying to eliminate their opponents while gathering as much resources as possible, and the player that's able to do that best wins the game. And if you do want to check this one out, I will have it linked down below.